Great. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for the fourth in our series, Energy Stewardship. We're excited to be featuring Victorious Believers Ministries in Saginaw, Michigan, and want to give a huge thank you to Pastor Chris Pryor and Mr. Ellis for joining us today to share their story about the 3 phases of lighting projects that they have underway. So first, we just want to give you an opportunity to share who's in the room. So given that it's just us, we do have a sense of that, but feel free to drop your name, the city that you live in, and the name of the congregation that you participate in the chat. I'm joined today by Dave Arnosti. He serves on the Michigan Interfaith Power and Light Board. He also is on faculty at Michigan State University and a member of Hazlitt Community Church in the Lansing area. Just a few logistics. Yes, we will email you a recording and the slides, so everyone who registered will get a copy of this. Type your questions in the chat throughout. We do want to hear from you if you have any questions, and we will address them during the question and answer. So a brief overview of the agenda. We will give you a welcome and brief overview of who we are and why energy matters in a faith context. We'll launch a poll and we'll hear from Pastor Chris Pryor about the Christian call to earth stewardship, Mr. Ellis about the LED lighting projects at Victorious Believers Ministries. We'll have question and answer and announcements and adjourn by 5 p.m. So the poll, can you all see that now? So has your congregation or nonprofit considered implementing any of the following energy saving projects? Feel free to select any and all that apply to you. And great. Well, yes, that's great, because that's what we're here to talk about is interior and exterior lighting upgrades. Okay. So Michigan Interfaith Power and Light, our mission is to inspire and equip people of faith to exercise stewardship and love for all creation. We were founded in 2002 by Father Charles Morris, a Catholic priest with the Detroit Diocese, who said there ought to be a faith response to global warming. Why is energy part of this? Well, all religious traditions that we're aware of speak to the value of caring for God's creation, and that also relates to caring for our neighbor and the most vulnerable around us, and addressing how use of resources and the way that we use them affects all of us. Not only that, but energy efficiency means less money on your utility bills, more money for your mission. So we have found that faith communities who are saving on energy bills have more to give back to the community. Hazlitt Community Church, Dave, since you're here, you're making me think of that, saving, I think you said over $3,000 between the solar array and the energy efficiency improvements that you've implemented at the church. $3,000 going back into the Hazlitt Community Food Pantry can make a big difference. So with that, I would like to turn this over to Pastor Chris Pryor with Victorious Believers Ministry. Would be delighted for you to share about why energy efficiency at Victorious Believers Ministries.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. I think you've done an outstanding job of just giving an overview of the significance and the importance of being a good steward. I think as a Christian and just as a godly person, God has given us an opportunity to take care of this. In Genesis, the 2nd chapter, around the 15th verse, it talks about man and being put in the Garden of Eden to work it and to keep it. And in the same factor, I believe we, as being good stewards of this earth, of making sure that we do the same. And so just as the command was given then, I still feel theological, the belief that humans are responsible for the world. We should take care and look after it. And so it's just been a joy being able to, I want to say over the last 5-6 years, it may be even longer, our partnership with Consumers Energy has been phenomenal. And so when we talk about individuals, not only those who are in need, but just in general, all of us being good stewards, we've been able to work together to make sure that the heating, we know that people are being burned or children being burned or seniors, all of that is important. So to make sure that the water temperature is correct, to make sure that all those small things that appear to be small, which are really large, that are not only financial savings, but very important for our health and to preserve this land. So we've been grateful to be able to work there. Not only that, but just doing some of our family drive and initiatives to be able to empower and to share with children of how they can help and, saving the water and electricity and when brushing of teeth. So there have been so many different things that we've been able to do and partner with. Not only is a great thing is us being able to be rewarded as a ministry. So as you stated, to be able to give back to our missions, our family enrichment programs that we do on Wednesdays for families to be able to come in, to be able to educate and empower them, have been a tremendous blessing. So it's a win-win all the way across the board. For the church, we're able to help people, minister to them, to save, to educate. For the church, financially, we've been able to grow, able to put those resources back into ministry. And then number 3, overall, for all the congregants of our ministry parishioners, they're able to be blessed, shower heads, and the different things that are offered. So we're grateful of our partnership, our continue working. I know Deacon Ellis, who is on here, will share some of the other things, so I don't want to just go over those, but we're grateful of the time and the commitment. And I think to speak to that, it's just not a one-stop shop. As I stated, you followed up with us over the years. And so we're trying to help the entire community and just people all the way across. So we're grateful of our working and continual working relationship. I want to say it's probably been 7, maybe 8 years that we've been able to work together. So thank you. Our hat is off to you, not just dropping something off to us, but following up. And customer service really is important when we talk about Christian call to earth stewardship. So we're very appreciative.
Thank you, Pastor Pryor. So it's also my honor to introduce Mr. Ellis Burns. So as Pastor Pryor mentioned, Mr. Burns is celebrating over 20 years with Victorious Believers Ministries, 18 of those for which he served as the facilities manager. As the pastor mentioned, he's also serves as a deacon and in the music ministry. And with that, Mr. Burns, please take us away and tell us about the lighting projects at Victorious Believers Ministries.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure and to be asked to come on board to share, sentiments about, what's taking place here at our facility and our ministry here. As my pastor was saying, we're not just, he don't just preach and reach out to the community. We like to practice also as demonstrated as well with our facility and good interior housekeeping and just keeping up our facility. So with that in mind, taking advantage of this wonderful program when it came our way. I mean, I can give a little history. It was like years ago, like 2004, 2005, before this program was even introduced to us. I did, try to look into changing your lighting over, to look for contractors that can, convert our utilities or try to, give you the new phases of LED or whatever, what that looks like and the cost that just goes with just trying to be energy smart. It's very resourceful. I mean, it's just the cost was just, through the roof. But, thanks to you all for, when this program came along, every opportunity that we can benefit to take advantage of it, we've been right on. So with that in mind, we started with our project one, would have been our parking lot, which was recently done about is it a year and a half now? Since October 2018, yeah. So these, we went from, I didn't have a picture of our old mercury vapor 400 watt. I mean, these were big heads that were set on these same poles, but with the program they came and converted. It's best when you change the lighting to do it all at once, because that's how you really see your savings, to not just do one at a time, but if you're going to convert, go ahead and do the entire unit at once. So this is a couple of pictures of our parking lot with the new LED lights. And one thing about the LED, to go from a 400 watt mercury vapor when converted to LED. So we went from 400 watts per lamp, and it's pretty much in our entire property, about 36 lights out there that illuminates our entire property, from the parking lot all the way to our Victorious Drive coming off of our main road onto our property. So each light fixture shoots 400 watts. So to convert a 400 watt light to LED, you just went from 400 watts all the way down to 54 per fixture. So that's a huge, I mean, a 400 watt light anyway, the way those heat up, and they're like little microwaves. So you're basically turning on a 400 watt microwave for each light fixture that's on those poles. So 35 light posts or 35 microwaves that's now reduced down to 54 watts of power per fixture. So that's a huge savings. Slide number 2, you get another one. Yeah, that's just more shots showing the rest of the perimeter going all the way out to our main road that leaves the property of Victorious Believers. So it's a very, okay, and this, yeah, you can go to the next one. This right here is our gymnasium. This was done the same time the parking lot was done. This is what our Family Life Center, this is the wing of that. In this gymnasium, I mean, we have family night dinner on Wednesday nights, once a month. So we feed the families, but now each one of those fixtures up there now are LED. They've been converted to LED. Now, we used to have 35 of those same MVR mercury vapor 400 watts that were in the gym. I don't have a previous picture of that, but it was pretty much 7 lights going per row. So it's 5 going all the way across if I count from the very corner over to the center all the way over. It's 5 rows, but it was 7 going back. So with the LED, we were able to reduce the amount of lights and yet have pretty much, it's still brighter than what we used to have, and yet converted from 400 down to 54 watts. So that's an excellent blessing and saving. So when the gym is in use, we can breathe. And when the parking lot, which illuminates at night, it's a blessing. So overall, the cost effective. So why stop there? The next slide. This is our next phase. This should be, I just got in contact with the company. We're slated to start next week. So they're gonna, what we see now, what you're looking at is our sanctuary lights. It's a couple shots that just shows the different angles, but each one of those lights are 400 watts as well. Those are mercury vapor 400 watts, and it's 34 of those that illuminates the sanctuary. So on next week, those will be converted. You can click on some other pictures, but it's that's just shows you the lighting that will be converted on next week to the LED that reduces that as well down to 54 watts. So when we're using our sanctuary on Sundays and Wednesday nights, I mean, thank God, God is good. Thank God for this program. It's efficiency and it's effective. And I advise everyone, admonish everyone to take advantage of this kind of program that's being offered while it is being offered. So with that in mind, that is our next phase. And then my last phase, which would be, I don't have a picture of, but just our office areas where we were pre-COVID, before the country shut down, we were operating out of our office area 9 to 5, which is our weekly daily day activities and office hours. So with that being a 9 to 5, and now there's a retro to convert all of our your standard fluorescent lighting can now be converted to your LED. So that is what I'm trying to get lined up as well, that they'll be able to go to throughout our entire office areas and convert those units to the LED retros that's formatted for those fixtures, so that you don't have to change the fixtures. They just bypass and remove the ballasts and put in a new LED that's direct wired, and your energy goes from a fluorescent lighting system shoots about 23 watts per bulb. We'll be going down to 4.6, per fixture. So that's very good. So with that in mind, I just want to, in the end, our entire facility will, prayerfully be converted, and the energy savings and costs that's being used can now be, it rolls over and pays for itself because of the retro. So that alone puts money back into the ministry, and a ministry with the endeavors that we have, and through the vision of our pastor, a wonderful leader, we can then sow back into and do more ministry with smart money and smart savings. So with that, I thank you for your invite and being able to share, and hopefully this just bless someone to take advantage of what you have to offer. But my congrats and gratefulness, and God is good.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ellis and Pastor Pryor. This was wonderful. I really thank you. I do want to address some of the questions that are in the chat.
Okay.
So Drew has asked, would you care to evaluate the total value transferred to your congregation? I'm not sure that I understand the full question about the kids and the dollars saved. Drew, do you care to elaborate?
I think to that point is, you can't put a value on life. Maybe that's what he's saying based upon, children not being burned, knowing those particulars. Sometimes you don't know that. And so we're appreciative. So I would say is you can't put a price on a person's life, but we're grateful that because of the program and those coming through, the new shower heads, there's so many different benefits of the savings that, people don't even realize that they're being afforded. There's so much in that little box that is given. So we're appreciative. It's ironic due to the timing of the pandemic. And when we receive the lighting, we're not able to give a true sense based upon, for much of the time, we were not in the facility like we typically would have been. But we are grateful because we know that it's a savings. Here's one of the things. It used to take a little time for us to click on the lights because of when we built the church. It takes a few minutes for all the lighting to come on. Well, now you have instantly. And so being a church that does, plays and productions and just different things in the gymnasium. As Deacon Ellis stated, to have all of those lights going down in our gymnasium, they were there, but now we don't have nearly as many. So aesthetically, it looks better. Aesthetically, it looks better because it's brighter lighting due to the LED. So it's a win-win all the way across the board that we've seen. Unfortunately, we cannot give you those numbers because we're not, our staff is not in there like we typically have been in. So because of last year, we're just getting back to that now. We cannot give you and crunch the numbers based upon that. But I guarantee you, it's a tremendous savings knowing what Deacon Ellis gave as far as the lighting before. And we'll be able to give those numbers after next year because we're entering back into our edifice.
Yeah. I think that's got to be true for congregations across the board.
Right.
So, but yeah, absolutely. When the programming gets back, and like you were saying, I think Drew, you were asking about the number of hours that you're in the building. So that probably will increase over the next few months as things reopen.
Right. Due to some of our leadership classes that we would have during the week, our Wednesday night Bible study, Sunday morning, Sunday evening, just the different activities that we have, they no longer took place due to social distancing and the pandemic. So we haven't been in. We do our Sunday morning services. We do a rehearsal in our sanctuary. And so typically right now, that's we would have our choir rehearsals for the children, the youth ministry, in our gymnasium. There's another part there where in the upper area, our children are actively involved. Mm-hmm. Our staff are typically there. So they haven't been doing that. They've been working from home. So it wouldn't be fair to this project of the work that has been done to put a number to it because it would be unofficial. So, but we know just out of common sense, how blessed we are with this. Not only that aesthetically, like I said, it just makes a world of difference for us. Deacon Ellis may be able to speak to a little more.
You might be on mute.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's like I said earlier, just when the savings alone is when it all goes up at once. The use of the gymnasium is not used exactly like the sanctuary. The sanctuary is guaranteed every week or twice a week, but the gymnasium, when it was, that's pretty much once or whatever, or twice, but it's also being used, but not like Pastor said, due to the pandemic, the activities of how that church officially ran with the conversion it's a definite payoff because everything is going up but the lights parking lot, no matter what, during pandemic or post-pandemic, it doesn't matter because those lights were on every night, every day. So those alone, without the use of the facility, those are still trimming from 400 watts to 54, that type of savings every day. So that whatever that equals to on your what you call your consumer's equation, what they charge per wattage or kilowatts, your numbers are already doing their job. So that's what makes it like it's hands down it's a saving. So next week when that sanctuary gets converted, we already know when you take 35 fixtures from 400 and reduce that to 54 and add that with the gymnasium and the parking lot, that's a huge overhaul of the utilities of Victorious Believers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I think this question is coming from like a member of a congregation who wants to know if this is realistic and achievable for them. Drew asked, how many are in your congregation? I would think that regardless of the size of your congregation, you can still save on things like Mr. Ellis said about the parking lot lighting, the lights being on all the time, but do you want to speak to?
Yeah. I think to that, I think the significance of this, regardless of the size of anyone's congregation, where we were able to receive funds as well, and I want to speak to this, is, it's a church member asking someone else. You can be creative of how. Now we're doing outdoor services. So when you're doing outdoor services and ministering to people, you're asking people, hey, would you like for consumers energy? Well, I didn't know about that. Yes, it's free to you and it's safe. And all you do is call this number and individuals are able to do so. So regardless of the size of anyone's congregation, someone may say ours is a little larger than typical, but anyone can get involved and partner. Whether you're ministering to another church, they don't have to be a member. So there's so many people can be a part of this wonderful program. So if it's a congregation of 50 and everyone goes after maybe 2 people, therefore you're able to be a part and receive funds. So I think that's the creativity of what this program offers, allowing more people to have success. So you can there's some people who are so engaged. You may have that 1 or 2 individuals at the church that they love to connect and they're always talking. And because of Facebook and the different tools that you can use, or text in church, there's so many different tools that are out there available that we can get or engage people. So I don't even think it matters the size of the church. I think it's just the enthusiastic person who loves to speak and help people. This is a ministering opportunity. So a person's bill is decreased at home, not only the church, but an individual's personal bill is decreased. The safety in regards to the home, checking the cords and all those different things, the power strips, the little lights that people get. There's so many different things. So I know churches, pastors, individuals will be blessed, whether they're members or not. This is a way for us to witness to the people of being the light of the world. And so I take that Matthew 5:16, that we are the light of the world, a city that sits upon a hill that cannot be hidden. We share so many great things to be a blessing to people. So I think that is what is so important. So yes, many people have benefited. So over 1,000, because we're trying to get as many people. We did it several years ago. This year, we're doing it again to help and to increase. So the thousands, I've ministered and reached out to other pastors, and we'll do so for Jennifer as well, to get as many people engaged. All of us have different pockets of people that we're affiliated with, but using the friendships of members in ministry to be able to engage through. So I think that's the key thing, but I'll be able to give you an annual projection. Again, like I said, due to COVID, it was unfair, but it's grateful of the time and the safety of being able to get in. And I think the other thing, Deacon Ellis, was they're very, very concise with the timing. So it doesn't take long for them to get in and do what is needed and to get in. So we're grateful of that. Great questions.
Yeah. I see that Dave has a question. Given the success of this important conversion to LED lighting, does your congregation have any plans for further earth care, be it in energy or any other sector?
Yeah, I think so. That's part of it, of moving forward. We're looking at doing another facility on the grounds, and it would be an earth care for our safety and environment. So we would continue to move forward in these practices because that's the way. We know that it is important to save the earth, to make sure all the different parameters that we can, to recycle, teach, educate. We do a family conference, and each year we've been fortunate to have Consumers Energy be a part of the program, and not just giving away the little light bulbs, but the education is so important. So we couple all of that in our discussions and education for people to be able to grow. So in the future, our next building, I'm supposed to have a meeting today. We'll have one next week. We will make sure that the lighting and any other safe environment is a part of the program. So Great question.
I think that's a great segue to the other energy program that Victorious Believers Ministries is involved in. So, Pastor, you mentioned the House of Worship Rewards program, but just to speak a little bit about it to people who may not be familiar. So, Consumers Energy has a program called House of Worship Rewards. It is an opportunity for any congregation or faith-based organization to earn up to $5,000. So Victorious Believers Ministries got in on this on the ground floor, I think in the opening year of this program. That's when Victorious Believers Ministries first participated, and in that year achieved the $2,000 reward. And they did that by signing up over 100 congregants and their members and friends to receive a free home energy analysis. So when the pastor was talking about the shower heads and other items that people can receive at home, so that is through this program. And I just wanted to show you, since we are so fortunate to have this testimonial video, I didn't want to miss the opportunity to share that with folks. So we'll just watch this 1-minute video.
I'm Kenyatta Pryor.
I'm Chris Pryor, the pastor of Victorious Believers Ministries in Saginaw, Michigan.
We have partnered with Consumers Energy for the House of Worship Rewards program because it was a win-win. Not only was it a win for our members to not only make their homes more energy efficient and save money, but it was also a benefit for us as a church to receive funds to be able to put back into the ministry by feeding families once a month, and then also by having our Victorious Life Family Conference. They have gone into our members' home and changed light bulbs. They have insulated homes. They have changed faucets.
With the House of Worship Rewards program, we're grateful. We've been able to help our community so much. Each Wednesday night, we're able to do a family enrichment time to help support families with food and fellowship. I believe all churches should be a part of this. We empower our community. It's a blessing to the ministry as far as receiving funds.
On behalf of myself and Pastor Chris and the parishioners who've been able to take advantage of this great program, we say thank you.
So thank you, Pastor Pryor. Thank you for that excellent video. We love that. We share that all over the place. And like I said, the reward at that time, a few years back, was $2,000. It's been increased. It's now $5,000. Victorious Believers Ministries is also the first congregation in the state to re-up and be participating in the program for a second time. So best wishes to you. I know it's off to a great start.
We're very appreciative of the opportunity, our working and relationship, the partnership. And I guess that's what I was just trying to say, of not just giving us a ball and just trying to figure out where to go, but to continue the working relationship. You know, I've worked with you, and, you know, we've talked to other pastors. And so I'm just very, very appreciative of the reward money, because it does go a long ways, but also making sure that other people are aware of the opportunities that are available to them. So I grew up at a church in Flint. That's where I'm originally from. And I just saw, not even knowing, a picture of Pastor Roger L. Jones and his wife. So I see that they were a recipient in some form as well. One of the pictures that you were showing.
Yeah.
So I was joyfully grateful for seeing him as well on this.
Yeah, I will.
That was a church.
Wow, you were very observant. That was split second on the screen, but this is our website for House of Worship Rewards.
Right there.
Yes,
Right there.
R.L. Jones. Yes.
Yes.
So they also participated and achieved a $500 reward. This was a couple of years ago.
That's wonderful. That's the church that I grew up under his leadership, my father, my parents. And then that's how we ended up coming to the city of Saginaw, because of him in the black hat with the Adidas on. That's the mayor Neely currently now. But it's just small world after all, but great people. But again, like I said, our continued working relationship is what we're appreciative of. And from you, from Darlene, who has visited the church, who has presented regularly, to so many of those, Petras, when I think of those, I can name many people through Consumers Energy of where we've kept our working relationship. And I think that's what speaks the volume of anything else. We're glad of all the benefits, but it's a consistent working relationship that has been fostered that speaks volumes of a wonderful company.
Great, excellent, thank you. Yeah, so with that, I just had a few brief other announcements, and that was really beautifully said, so I don't have too much more to add, but just on the note of other ways that congregations can engage, so wanted to make sure that you know that your first step is a free analysis from Consumers Energy. If you haven't already had that, chances are you have if you're watching this webinar. And then the next step is to take the action items that are in that energy assessment report that you would have received from your energy advisor. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to us. We're here to be a free resource to you. And you can always schedule yourself on my calendar. I'm giving you the link here because I would love for you to let me know what your energy saving project is at your house of worship, and we'll find ways to empower you to implement that. And with that, thank you. Any other questions? Anything else anyone wants to share?
I would like to ask a question, whether your congregation has considered using a preferred power agreement type mechanism to put solar panels on your church and reduce your energy bill further by using a mechanism that Murray Rosenthal at Genesis has done.
Very much interested. We have part of it is a flat roof, part of it is a steeple that comes. So that flat roof area would be something that wherever savings is, and saving two ways, financially as well as the environment, I think that's key. And so we're willing to listen and to grow and to make sure that we preserve our environment. So very important. I look forward to you after we get through here following up. But between myself and Deacon Ellis, of us chatting to see whatever opportunities that are available to be better. So thank you so much.
And just to add on that, our facility is in a direct, perfect positioning for when the sun rises. So we're the sun side, and pretty much we don't have a lot of trees that from the rising of the sun to the going down, that we can get a lot of solar positioning and power. So we do have the flat roofs, and I would like to strategically just to understand that a lot better. That would have been my question to Mr. Murray about the use of solar panels and its importance. That is the new phase. You see a lot of I see solar fields everywhere, but then I also hear the what's or the negatives. I go up, sometimes travel up M13, and I see a lot of signs saying no solar farm here. I don't know what is the trade-off for the environment, but I know on a building that's not messing with the environment or the what you call landscape or whatever. So that was just an interest, but the energy savings, when it comes to energy saving is key, because I don't think the equation of your typical consumer bill will never change where you start losing. I don't think it's going to go back. So you have to stay energy efficient because of the rising cost of energy, period. Yeah.
And I just wanted to say that this afternoon at noon, I presented a seminar on what we call the investor model. And it's like a no-brainer, because if you find an investor with deep pockets, they can take advantage of the 26% federal tax credit that exists right now. And you can get, it doesn't have to be a member of your church. It can be anybody that pays taxes, that's willing to make a green investment. And it's a win-win, because they make money off the solar power that's generated, and you save money because you will be paying a lesser rate. And eventually the panels will get donated back to the church. So that's the way the model works. And it's there's a document about it on the Michigan Interfaith Power website, and a how-to document, and it goes through the steps. And Solar Faithful of Ann Arbor, we're willing to help. We're willing to give a presentation to your deacons or whoever you want us to on the model. And I said I presented today. This is like maybe the 10th time I presented since the panels went up on our building back in February of 2020. So, and we're not the only ones. There's 7 other houses of worship / nonprofits that have done this using the investor model. And I also wanted to mention one thing, is that the Ann Arbor 2030 district, and I'm not sure you guys know what that is, but it's 2030 districts. There's 3 in Michigan, 1 in Detroit, 1 in Ann Arbor, 1 at Grand Rapids, I'm sorry. And we're trying to make buildings use less energy. And so as part of the Ann Arbor 2030 district, we're starting a green team probably in September. And so it's like maybe a meeting once every couple months where we learn about how houses of worship can save energy. And we can discuss solar panels in those meetings too. And anybody's welcome. So if you guys want to join our green team, we can do that. And there'll probably be, hopefully, at least a dozen other houses of worship in Michigan that participate.
I'll be happy to email you the link, Deacon Ellis and Pastor Pryor, to what Murray is referring to, the solar investor guide that he helped develop. I can send that to you following this. Yeah.
That would be very much appreciated. And either you feel free to, contact us. I guess the main thing is spreading the word. We're right off of I-75 when you're heading through Saginaw. So most people pass our edifice or where we're at. But just like Deacon Ellis said, where we're located, whatever way we can save, that's just the goal. Definitely. So we would be very appreciative to hear more. And Brother Murray, to hear presentation number 21, sign us up.
All right, great. Yeah, just let me know when.
Awesome.
Great information. Yes.
Very much.
Great.
Thank you, Jen.
Right.
I mean, you've been outstanding.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for your time, everyone, and all the great questions, and for everything you shared.
Yeah, and congratulations, on getting that done.
Thank you. My father was a pastor. He'd be so proud at this time of, us working together and these adjustments. There were things that he wanted to close. I think what Deacon Ellis said is if we had to do this on our own, you're talking thousands of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
Thousands of dollars. And so with that, we paused because I'm not talking the savings from just the lights itself. I'm talking about the initial process to do.
Yeah.
We're talking $30,000 to $50,000 in a budget. That takes out a lot in difficult times. And so just that initial process, I'll say, Drew, or was it? Yeah, it was Drew that was asking those questions. I think that initial process of that upfront money is something that has to go into the budget that year after year, you keep saying, well, we can deal with it. Lights coming on slow. Oh, it'll be fine. But during the times of when needed, you go, boy, I wish we would do that. And so you talk about $50,000. That's a big savings. I'm not talking about the reduction of just going to LED. I'm talking about the starting point. So hopefully that just gives you just a short synopsis of the blessings that we've been able to receive over this last 16 months, not even the cost savings, not even the people who are benefiting from their home. I'm just talking the upfront money is a great savings. So we'll definitely continue to push, and we're encouraged.
Awesome.